And what's your name?
What?
What's your name?
What's my name?
Yeah.
Marie Teresa Joya Toarmina. What do you want to know about me? I'm 90 years old. I have 18 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren.
What do you think is your legacy?
What is my legacy?
Here is my song for the asking. Ask me and I play so sweetly I can swear. This is my dream for the taking. Take it, don't turn away. I've been waiting all my life.
What have you learned from your mom?
I think the most important thing that I've learned from my mom is to be a good mom and to never compare my kids with each other or anybody else, and just let them be who they are, because they're all humans.
Sometimes she'll tell Frank she likes him more, but then on the side she tells me, no, I like you more. I just tell Frank that because he's a little insecure. So I like that about my mom.
Who's your favorite kid?
I have no favorites. I love them all the same. My dad used to say, you see I got 5 fingers? Which one would I do without? We love them all.
I would say one of the important things that I learned from my mother was her work ethic.
I learned to get things done from my mother, because she'd always say that once a task has begun, you do it until it's done.
Once a job has begun, never leave it till it's done. Be the labor big or small, do it well or not at all. And that is one of the big things that I learned from my mom.
Well, then we got the ice cream store, and at Mickey's our big thing was, if you can lean, you can clean. And we used to tease Mary Lynn because she made the kids go around the legs of the machines with a toothbrush.
By the time I was growing up, we already owned the ice cream store, so I just remember that my mom really would come home and be with us and work and clean and cook, and then she'd also be at Mickey's, several hours a day as well. So I think that fits that motto that she told me every day for my whole life.
I remember in elementary school, there must have been a class about the Civil War or something, about brothers fighting brothers, and I ran home and I asked my mom, who am I supposed to love the most? I'm supposed to love my family and my country and God. My mom, she didn't even think a minute, and she said, your family, automatically. So she kind of taught me to put family first in front of everything else.
One thing my mother taught me was to be kind to other people.
My mother actually taught me how to use a stick shift in a car. And it's funny because neither one of us can drive a stick shift. Neither one of us had our driver's license. I took the wheel, she took the gear shift, and we laughed the entire block home, and we made it.
I learned from my mother to be patient with my own children, with my husband, who needs patience, with my employees, and with my customers at Mickey's. So it took a long time for her to lose her patience when I was fighting with my siblings. And I used to fight with all of them, Frank, Rose, Lou, Sandy. It would take Grandma a long time before she took off the shoe and chased us. So there was a lot of patience in that.
She told me one time not to hit, and then she threw a shoe at me. So I guess that counts too.
What do you think is the most important lesson that you've taught your kids?
Important. To be honest, and sometimes when they went to school, they found out it wasn't that great to be honest. One time, my son Peter, his teacher had brought something from Mexico and was showing the kids she went out of the room and they were all playing with this thing and it dropped and broke. She said, "Who touched the statue?" Nobody raised their hand but my son Peter. But the whole class had touched it. But he was honest. Anyway, he got in trouble. And I don't remember, it wasn't much, but we had to pay for that statue.
But if you dig underneath, you might do better. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful.
No, you already went.
My God.
You already went.
Go ahead, another handful.
Another handful.
Get two hands. That's a beautiful one.
Them are good ones.
Oh.
Yeah, I can buy squares. Yeah.
There, that's better.
I got married June the 25th, 1949.
Tell us a story about you and Grandpa.
Well, I'll tell you, Frank invited us to come to Detroit just before we were married to go to a wedding. My sister Eva and I had bought new coats to go to this wedding. And we got there and hung our coats up and it was time to go home and our coats were gone. And Frank said, "Don't worry about it. We'll get them back." So he took us to this, I think it was a restaurant. Our coats were hanging there. He says, "Now, just go in there, pick up your coats, and come out." So that's what we did. We went in this restaurant. Eva took her coat, and I took my coat. We put them on and left. And so he was my hero. And I think that was why I liked him so much, because he didn't think anything of it. We got our coats back, and everybody was happy.
And accompanied by her husband, Don.
I think her legacy is that she raised 8 children the best she could, and she made them know what it is to be an honest, hardworking contribution to society. And I think that's the one thing that we've all been taught.
What do you think is Grandma's legacy?
I think the main thing that she would want always for other people to think about our family and for us to think about ourselves is just that we're a close family. When I talk to other people and I say we go to dinner every Sunday or together every Sunday and we do other activities together, they're always so surprised that we do so much together. And I think when I talk to Mom about that, it really does seem like it's the thing that makes her happiest.
I put my sauce on, and then after Mass we come home and I make spaghetti with the help of Pam and who's ever here. The girls do a lot of the work. We make spaghetti and a salad usually. And everybody comes over who wants to.
Her legacy is just the way she supports you no matter what. No matter what the problem is, you know that you can always go to your mom, and she's going to tell you that everything is okay and that you're doing the right thing.
The number one legacy that anybody would have would be their children. Build a big building, but it's just a building. Children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren carry on forever.
Grandma's legacy. I think that you and all the kids are Grandma's legacy. And when the kids are happy, she's happy.
Beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. My lover stands on golden sand and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere.
What is my legacy? To be honest, even though sometimes it's very hard. Treat everybody decent.
To me, my mom is an absolute saint because she raised 8 kids and she was never ever swore at us or lost her temper with us, maybe once. But her legacy is she's the kindest person ever. She never looked at a person and judged them. She was always you know, if she saw a poor person, it would be, you know, what did that poor guy go through to be that person? Her legacy is being a wonderful person, being a great human being. That's who she is.
Beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing.
What do you want for your birthday?
I want all my kids to get together and be together for one day. It would be nice. I wish everybody was here, but those of you who are here, it's great to see you.